Hello to whoever is going to be listening or watching. My name is Samira, and my intent is to share my story with parents who have been through or is going through any challenges with family law. I am a mother of three. I have two daughters and a son. And my son, of course, is my baby. And I went through some serious medical challenges in order to conceive him and bring him into this world. My objective is to hopefully reach out to Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, the real Oprah, and maybe Steve Harvey, to share my medical experience challenges that I went through in order to bring my son into the world, and then to, after being blessed with the gift of my son, or our son, I'm now a single parent, and I have been since my son was 2.5 years old. And the reason why I say my son mostly is because I'm the one that is mainly been consistent in parenting him. The fact that this is something that I had not anticipated having to go through, especially at my age, because at the time that I had my son, I was 40 years old. My girls are 37 and 35, and my son is 17. And so this is going to be, therapeutic for me, as well as hopefully helpful to other parents. Single parents or not single parents. Unfortunately, I have had the displeasure of going to court over 25 times, fighting for the best interests of my son. There's a whole lot that I could say, but I don't want to just go on and on and on and on and on. I'm basically going to try to give as much facts and straight to the points as I possibly can. But as time moves forward, other information will be granted. I am, just to give you a little bit of info in reference to me, I am not a social media person. This is my first time ever doing something like this. I'm actually stepping out on faith and actually doing something like this to be able to reach a number of people, because I don't do Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, tweet, twat, any of that stuff. That's usually what I say in reference to social media, and I'm sure there are plenty other avenues with social media that I probably haven't even mentioned. But nonetheless, you guys get my point. This is not scripted. I'm not reading from anything. I am speaking straight from the heart as I know it, based on what I've lived. That's the only way that I can come across to other parents that would be able to pick up on that. You guys would know if this is real or not. And this is about as real as it's going to be. I know I'm not the first, and I'm darn sure not going to be the last parent that has gone through anything like this. But it only takes one person to make a difference and have an effect. And I'm hoping with me stepping out on faith and doing something like this and sharing something like this will have a positive effect and hopefully some encouragement along the way. I am very serious about what I'm about to share and what I'm about to talk about and what have you. And the other aspect of this is that I'm hoping that if any family law attorneys get wind of this or air about this or what have you, that hopefully it will possibly jumpstart the conscientious mind of some of these family law attorneys that will hopefully be inclined to help out parents like myself who can't afford attorneys, but they still need the assistance because there's a lot of ins and outs, ups and downs in dealing with family law. And I've been dealing with my family law situation on my own in pro per since 2004 because I cannot afford an attorney. And fortunately, I've been able to be relatively okay about it in reference to my son. And I'm hoping that with this, I will be able to be just a small source of information that would be very helpful to parents that are dealing with family law issues because it is very stressful, it's very challenging, and it's very expensive. It can be. I've been dealing with my case, like I said, since 2004, all on my own. And as I stated before, my appearances in court have been numerous. And some may say that it was probably unnecessary, but when it comes to my life, nothing is unnecessary. And when it comes to my children, it's definitely not, because I'm a mother bear and I am definitely very protective about my children and always will be. And I don't relax those standards for nobody. Any family law attorneys, like I said before, hopefully you will reach out and help parents that need help that cannot afford family law. I have definitely been reliant on God and myself in getting through all of these challenges with my son, for my son. And it's been quite difficult, but the blessing is the fact that I do have a good boy. And I'm very thankful and I'm very proud of how my son has turned out thus far. He is now approaching his last year in high school, and he graduates next year. And he's a young man that is very spiritually motivated, very knowledgeable in certain areas when it comes to God consciousness And for somebody, for somebody like myself who has done a pretty good job with raising him to the point of where he's at right now, I can say that I'm a little proud of myself about that. I'm not an arrogant person, but I'm very confident in my capability as a mom. And my son is definitely a young man that is not caught up in the worldly things that can really get a young man in this day and age in a lot of trouble. And that is about 98% of the stress that I don't have as a mom, because of the fact that my son is definitely not caught up in this mess that the world has to offer. And I hope that whoever checks this out will listen to it and take it for what it's worth, because it's very, very real. Can you pause that for a moment? Okay. Picking back up. To share some of my medical challenges. I stated many years ago, when my son's father and I got married, or before we got married, if it was God's will and meant to be, I would give him his first born child. Not son or daughter, just a healthy child. And the Most High granted that prayer. But it took some work. And so at 39, I had double major surgery in order to conceive our son. So I had 6 fibroid tumors removed, and my tubal ligation reversed at age 39 or 38, something like that. And that was done, that surgery was done, I want to say December 28th or December 29th, 1999. And August 2000, here comes our son. Thankfully, May 11th, 2001, a healthy baby boy was born. In doing something like that and going through something like that, it may seem to be a pretty typical thing for most people, but every woman's situation is special and unique. No matter how many millions of women do it, it is still a very special and unique experience. And the definition of how special it is based on each woman as an individual and what it meant and means to her. No one can take that from her. So May 11th, 2001, I had my baby boy. Was very happy, very thankful to God, of course, most of all. And at 40 years old, I had my had my little bundle of joy, my third bundle of joy. And as I stated previously, at 42, there was a divorce. And so our son was 2.5 years old at the time. And just to also add to just kind of backpedaling a little bit, I ended up having to have a emergency C-section in order to bring him into this world as well. And so I went through a lot. I went through a lot. I'm sure that there's a few little details that is not being stated, but you know, as I need to bring up further details, hopefully, if any of these shows that I have addressed at the beginning, I'm sure that if one of them, if not all of them, accept my story and bring me on to one of their shows or what have you, I'll be more than happy to fill in on everything. But what I have to be thankful for most of all are the 2 doctors that did my surgery. Just as a precaution, because I don't have their permission yet to reveal who they are. But once I do have their permission, then I will reveal who the 2 special, wonderful doctors are that did the procedure. And they both were in the operating room together. And as I stated before, this is good therapy for me because it's my way of venting, of course, and it's also my way of sharing and being that source of, hopefully, that small source of encouragement to, you know, push forward and never give up on yourself, no matter what. So as I stated before, at 42 years old, I was now a single mom and having to make readjustments all the way around of caring for myself and my son without the husband. From age 2.5 to about age 11 or 12, my son's father was in his life. And then after that, he, as far as on his own, involving himself in his son's life on a regular basis, for whatever reason, that no longer existed. And as I stated previously before, I had to go to court quite a few times, over 25 times. I don't remember the exact amount, but I know it's over 25 times. And I'm definitely not ashamed of that. I'm not ashamed of anything that I've gone through in order to protect my son and give him the best raising that I could myself. And my son is very well aware of the circumstances in which how he came into this world. I've shared with him the truth, and he understands what I've shared with him, and he also has observed both parents, and he's the best person to speak on whatever it is that he may choose to speak on, if at all, based on his understanding. Because, children are always the ones that end up suffering when it comes to the parents no longer in the home together. As I know right now, my son that I share with his father is his only child. He has no other children that I am aware of. And that's the clock chiming. As I stated also, I'm not tech savvy with all this stuff, but I'm very good at communication. And just plain old simple talk. People understand. People got good sense. They understand the realms of reality and what have you. And this is reality. Like I said, there's nothing scripted here. Absolutely nothing. I did not prepare ahead of time so I could refer back to notes. No, this is all in my head. And God knows that I am telling the truth. And so, any parent that is going through or have been through medical challenges in bringing their child or children into this world, we share the same sensitivity. Any parent, mother or father, that has gone through challenges when it comes to family court and what have you, we also share the same sensitivity. Because if you got the money, you can get the best representation. Well, you shouldn't have to go broke trying to protect what you gave birth to. You shouldn't have to do that. And everything that I am stating is on medical record and on court files. So I can sleep at night. I can live with myself. My conscience is clear because I'm the parent that never deviated from my responsibility as the parent, meaning financially as well as putting in the time. Being a parent is a lifestyle change. You can't live like you are single when you have another life or other lives that you are responsible for. I will say that my son's father definitely has paid his child support and spousal support and provided medical and what have you. But as far as being a on-site parent on a regular basis for the past 17 years straight, as I stated before, he stopped his visitation on his own. Keep that in mind. He stopped it on his own. So as a result of that, I have had 100% jurisdiction with our son. I wouldn't prefer it like that, but sometimes circumstances forces your hand and you have to make tough decisions. So it is what it is, and I have to move forward with, I have moved forward with my life, my son's life, and thank God he is a healthy 17-year-old and very intelligent. So I am truly blessed to have the kind of son that I have. And I don't apologize for whatever I've had to do in the best interest of my son, because The Most High knows the intentions of my heart. And that's one power that you cannot escape from. Nobody. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you make, how much money you don't make. You cannot run from the power that created you. That's for sure. And I will share more, but this is where I'm going to just pause it for now. Okay, wanting to reiterate my intentions with doing this. Number one, it's good therapy for me. This was my story to share, not my story to keep, because this could make a difference, a meaningful difference in somebody's life. If one person, one family is positively affected in a good, progressive way in me doing this, then I've done what God has wanted me to do. Because I've been thinking about this for quite some time. I didn't just spontaneously just do this today. I've been really thinking about it. I mean, after all, my son is 17 years old. So this is definitely not something that I just did at a whim. I'm a mature lady, and I definitely do some thinking before I do some action. And the title of my story is simply called Stepping Out on Faith, because that's what the heck I'm doing. I am stepping out on faith, hoping that what I share with this, because this takes a lot of courage. I'm not going to I know that there's going to probably be some type of fallout, negative, because there's always somebody that's going to hide behind this social media stuff, behind a computer monitor, and speak negatively about something. Okay? Let that override. Just let that roll off your back. Okay? Like bug repellent. Don't even let that phase you whatsoever. Stepping out on faith is exactly what this is. Me stepping out on faith, and hopefully one person out of approximately 7 billion people on the planet, I can make a little bit of a difference in having some positive effect on a family that is going through or has been through similar circumstances as myself. Like I said, every woman's experience is unique. Every woman's experience is unique and is special. It is not to be diminished by no means whatsoever, because it's her body that is going through such a challenge in order to bring life into this world. Her body. Okay? And again, my intent is to hopefully, my intent is to hopefully stir up some kind of generous consideration with family law attorneys that will get up off their butts and help some families that cannot afford family law money, family law attorneys. Okay? Sometimes you just can't do it. You can't afford it. And I'm not going to risk a roof over me and my son's head to pay some attorney who makes 3 or 4 times more than I do just in one case. Period. So I'm hoping that there will be a family law attorney of sorts that will actually see it within themselves to try to help whatever family that needs that help, because they may not know which way to turn and what they should do next. And just to give you guys some additional insight, I have, free of course, I have 2 families that I have helped with based on my experiences that I've helped with their family law cases and what have you, and help guide them with some of the challenges that they have faced, and have helped them with my truth in knowing that what I've shared with them brought me certain results. It also helped them and brought them certain results because I was not misleading. And definitely there was no money involved whatsoever. There are still a few people out here in this world. Everything isn't always about money. So, Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, The Real, Steve Harvey, and Oprah. I'm hoping that somebody within you guys' administration will check this out, see how serious I am about this, because I am. And I'm definitely not trying to impress nobody, because I am excellent at just being myself. This is completely unscripted and spoken straight from the heart. And that is stepping out on faith.